Now on CoastTV News.
Stores slammed. What people are picking up to prepare for a winter storm this weekend. Plus, how first responders are getting ready for whatever winter weather is headed our way.
The latest model run has taken an interesting turn for the weekend winter storm. Less in some areas, but more in others. We'll go ahead and give you the difference between the two and how the mixing is going to change up the timing as well.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good evening, and thank you so much for being here. I'm Christina DeRobertis. We're going to kick it off taking a live look right into Lewis. And we're going to turn it to our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams, who has been tracking this winter storm. Paul.
Couple of things have become very interesting. First of all, we're looking at the mixing going to happen a little bit ahead of schedule according to comparisons of the last model run. And we're looking at more mixing right along the coast and covering the entire peninsula. However, we could see more in the way of the outcome of the amount of snow that's going to hit because the rate is going on the increase. Instead of maybe 1 inch per hour, it might bump up to 2 or even a little bit stronger than that, according to the latest run. Also, you'll notice as you go up towards, let's say, Newcastle, we're looking at 10 inches or more. Now that's been upgraded to about 12 inches or more. And this is going to affect for the folks who have relatives that are up in the New Jersey area. We are still under a watch at this point, a winter storm watch. We have this front that's pushing through for right now. And so we're still watching out for a mixture of all things, including the snow, heavy snow, as well as the potential of ice and some sleet possibly as well. Winds are picking up momentum around the peninsula, and we have some light scattered showers dancing to our south. Now here's one look at the rendition we're talking about. This is 5 o'clock Sunday morning, very heavy to the north. The darker the color, the heavier the rate, all right? We're looking at this 2 inch per hour rate covering the entire peninsula by 8:30 Sunday. That's going to increase the opportunity for more snow to develop and fall. But then look at how quickly this mix takes over. By 6:30, we're looking for that mix to change over to the pink, which is the freezing rain or sleet. And then we see this low right here. It's parking itself closer to the landmass. So that means the mixing is going to actually happen a little bit earlier than the latest run indicated. And then the backside of it, we go back to snow, back to briefly there. And that's actually going into like 2 o'clock in the morning for Monday. So we may have an afterlife of the snow after the mix and the rain, and then go back to snow, particularly when that Arctic cold front begins to push through. Coming up, we're going to take an even more detailed and smaller model run, show you that in detail, and show you how it's going to change. And the numbers, I'll tell you something, Christina, the new numbers we're getting with our new model run have become extremely intriguing.
Extremely intriguing. All right, we'll check back in. Thank you, Paul. And shoppers on the coast heading into stores like Ace Hardware today looking for that snow gear ahead of the weekend. Lots of people, though, who went to Ace seem to be disappointed when they were looking for ice melt because the store was sold out today. Employees do say they are expecting a shipment tomorrow morning to replenish almost everything.
We don't know if we're going to have the heavy snow or if we're going to have the powdery snow. If we have the powdery snow, I need a leaf blower anyway, so I thought about maybe getting a leaf blower to blow off the powder from the cars. Might be helpful.
Smart. And employees at Ace say they're open every day, and they do plan to keep being open throughout the snow. That's unless authorities tell them otherwise for safety reasons. Meanwhile, first responders getting prepared for worst-case scenarios before the winter storm hits. This in Bethany Beach. CoastTV reporter Drew Bellinger shows us the spots they're worried about and how to stay safe in this wicked weather.
Testing equipment and charging up before Delaware roads get dicey. The Bethany Beach Volunteer Fire Company is preparing for this weekend's storm.
So it is dangerous.
Deputy Chief Thomas Moore says they feel prepared for whatever the weather may bring.
You need to be very careful, especially the road conditions. You know, once the roads start to cover over and ice over, depending on, what the storm does, you should be careful. You should be prepared.
Officials at the fire company say it starts with setting yourself up. Having items like salt, an extra blanket in the car, a shovel, and snow scrapers can go a long way if you find yourself roadside in an emergency. Moore says their plow helps them reach difficult homes in their 15-mile district area.
Usually what happens is we'll send the plow first and the ambulance will just follow behind.
Moore says with mutual aid, they cover from the Maryland line up to the Indian River Inlet Bridge.
As long as the electric stays on, we're good.
Kathy Brown says she's more concerned about the roads.
You know, and if it's going to be days that are cold, extremely cold after that, then, you know, everything becomes a little dangerous. And if we're not prepared properly with the roads, it's an issue.
Emergency crews making sure they are ready so they don't have to get ready when this next storm hits the coast. In Bethany Beach, Drew Bellinger, Coast TV News.
In Ocean City, first responders getting ready there too. They've got buckets of salt ready to lay out, also chainsaws like you just saw to clear the roadways in case any branches break and fall on the road. They say their cars are fueled up. Alexander Bean, a firefighter EMT for the department, says it's going to be all hands on deck.
We have upstaffed an additional medic unit and additional personnel on our staff suppression pieces. Additional staffing that has been placed at the station in West Ocean City, Station 5, to provide that service, especially with the bridge closed and limited resource access.
The department also has these specialized suits. That's so they can wear that in case they have to rescue someone from the freezing water. Looking regionally now, the incoming weather already having an impact on air travel. Reporter Tim Furlong takes us to Wilmington Airport.
Thank you for choosing to fly Avelo.
The very first travelers to use the brand new gate area at Wilmington Airport, so psyched to be headed to Fort Myers, where, by the way, it was 81 degrees today.
You can't beat it. I'll be on the bicycle trail down there probably by the night sometime.
Thank you for calling Creative Travel. How may I help you, please?
The owner of Creative Travel in Newark lives, breathes, and even drives travel, and he's now working overtime to help his customers tweak their plans based on the weather forecast.
Like I have a customer supposed to leave Sunday, going on a cruise. And so we talked to them yesterday about trying to get out Saturday afternoon. One thing you have to remember is if the airline's delayed and you miss your trip or your cruise or any of that, the airline's not responsible for that.
Bob says storms like this one make the case for using a human travel agent like him who's going to fight for you and do all the legwork for you. But he says however you booked your travel, airlines are stingy with waiving fees, but they don't want log jams either. Call them right away, he says, and they might get you out of our area sooner without hitting you with fees. He says paying for an extra night in a hotel is better than sitting on a snowy tarmac Sunday morning and missing a connection or even a cruise ship. Now, as for Amtrak, if you book tickets, especially for Sunday or Monday, they're expecting weather impacts just like everybody else is. So make sure you keep checking with Amtrak.com. And if a train schedule is going to be affected by weather, they're going to contact you directly. Back at Wilmington Airport, most of these folks will completely miss the entire storm because they'll be in sunny Florida. But some of these travelers with shorter trips are now worried about getting back on time.
We're coming back on Monday, supposedly.
Airports across the eastern U.S. are going to face delays and ripple effects of weather problems. If you're lucky, you can have a plan B like this couple does.
My backup plan is to stay in Fort Myers, which won't be too bad, so
that's a good plan.
Doesn't bother me too bad.
In Newcastle, Tim Furlong, WRDE Coast TV News.
This does bring us to our Coast TV poll. We're asking what part of the winter weather worries you the most. Let's look here. 67% worried about power outages, 14% bad roads, also digging out and the cold temperatures. You can still vote though. Let us know what you're worried about with this incoming storm. You can do that on CoastTV.com or use our mobile app. And by the way, be sure to download the Coast TV app for your phone or your tablet ahead of the weekend. That's, in case you didn't know, you can also get the Coast TV streaming app on your TV, on Roku, Fire TV, also Apple TV. We're going to stream weather updates throughout the entire weekend, including a special winter storm coverage newscast from our sister station, WBOC. That's on Sunday morning, starting at 8 a.m. Moving on now, flights from Salisbury to Orlando will ramp up just in time for the summer. Starting in April, Breeze Airways will offer 3 flights per week. Right now, they're only offering 2. That's on Monday and Friday. That news, coupled with the ongoing runway expansion project and talks about expanding the airport's parking lot, is why local officials believe the airport is headed in the right direction.
Investment in a jewel like the Salisbury Airport is paying off. There's a reason why Breeze Airways wanted to locate here. There's a reason why American Airlines and Piedmont are going to start flying larger planes and possibly add routes.
Chambers added that more flights per week may only be the beginning of what he calls a promising future at the Salisbury Airport. Delaware Governor Matt Meyer outlining his priorities and highlighting his accomplishments during today's State of the State address. The main topics today included affordability, housing, healthcare, and rising energy costs. Meyer also highlighting ongoing efforts in education and economic growth amid federal uncertainty. While the speech looked to set the tone for the year ahead, lawmakers remain divided on how it will shape the session.
I always say that actions speak louder than words. He tried to connect with families that are struggling, yet we've seen the actions of the majority party and himself raising energy prices, raising taxes on people, raising fees for DelDOT and DENREC.
Especially with federal cuts coming down, ensuring that we keep a AAA bond rating, et cetera, is going to be key to our longevity and something that we're very proud of as Democrats who have been able to weather COVID and now looking to weather the federal administration that is taking the hits at states.
The governor also hinted at his proposed budget today, saying he plans to request a 5% increase. That budget is set to be presented next week in Dover. And the governor took a moment today to honor the service and heroism of fallen Delaware State Trooper Matthew Ty Snook. Snook was awarded the highest honor in Delaware, the Order of the First State. Trooper Scott Smith was also given the governor's award for heroism and bravery for his actions that day. Snook was shot and killed just 2 days before Christmas at the Wilmington DMV. And we are just getting started. More news coming up ahead, including the blood supply across Delmarva and worries about it ahead of this winter storm. Why donating right now is key. But first, inspiring young minds through bilingual music and storytelling. How one educator is changing the way kids learn. And a bit later, Paul Williams is in our CoastTV First Alert Weather Center with your full forecast.
A local teacher is taking her passion for education far beyond the classroom, using music to help people learn a second language and connect with new cultures. As CoastTV News reporter Nicole Richter shows us, this is the teacher behind the music.
Inside her classroom at Lewis Elementary, Senora Veronica Di Bartolo is teaching more than just vocabulary. She's teaching connection through language. Her passion for bilingual learning is helping children see the world from new perspectives.
They inspire imagination.
Di Bartolo is also lending her voice to a project called Meyer Enchanted Songs, a bilingual children's music project designed to bring stories to life through language and culture. She says teaching Spanish through music gives children a deeper understanding of the language.
We don't feel this kind of quality music is online for little kids. There are always simple songs. No, we need to expose our kids to higher level words. So Meyer was a way to channel both three things actually: language, learning, and music, the arts.
As a featured vocalist, Di Bartolo says the project also gives her a platform to share her life as a Hispanic woman, and her mission goes beyond the classroom.
For me to be able to share my culture, my language, and my knowledge, and now my passion for the arts as well, brings me joy, and I know I am helping them and I'm exposing them to more quality things and diversified instruction as well.
For her school community, it's a reminder that educators don't stop inspiring when the bell rings.
Through music and storytelling, Miss Veronica says that this program helps children everywhere to learn, listen, and connect one song at a time. For Coast to Connections, I'm Nicole Richter, Coast TV News.
As we get closer to this winter storm event over the weekend, we're starting to see the models kind of go one way. Even the National Weather Service went askew another way just recently. So I'm kind of splitting the middle here, but I'm still confident in what we've been providing for you. And it's an interesting phenomenon because our mixing is indicating we may have less here close to Ocean Pines, for example, but more in the way of snowfall than we've been talking about over towards Seaford. And I've been talking about Seaford continuously, and I'm still concerned. In fact, I'm convinced Seaford's going to clock, and right along Highway 13, that's where we're going to get the most snow in our viewing area. Now, keep in mind that up here towards Newcastle, that's outside of our viewing area, but if you're traveling north, that's been upgraded to about a foot there. So we are looking at one monster of a storm. It's now prompting winter storm warnings in the Tennessee Valley region and to our southwest. Now, we are still underneath a winter storm watch. It'll probably be upgraded to a warning here pretty soon, the closer we get to the weekend. That being said, for Saturday, temperatures just tank crazy, bone-chilling, sub-zero wind chills, and then snow will kick in Saturday night going into Sunday. Most of Sunday, I was leaning more towards 1 inch per hour, but now with this latest run, it might get closer to 2 inches per hour, but we'll still have plenty of hours to accumulate plenty of snow. Monday, that has not changed. Monday is still big-time problem with blustery conditions and extreme cold. Our gutter helmet camera, Ocean View, 33, just 1 degree above freezing. We're going to stay pretty close to that for the rest of the night. We're expecting for temperatures at 31, for example, Millsboro, 30 in Georgetown at 6:30 in the morning Friday. Friday's going to be a normal day. Temperatures will climb to the low to mid 40s. It's a normal day for this time of the year. Friday night, we start tanking quickly. Arctic air starts pushing through, and it sets the stage for that big turnaround for that cold. For example, Saturday morning, wind chill of -3 for the beaches, -7 for all inland areas. And the winds pouring out of the north is going to mix with the moisture. And because it's going to be so cold, it's going to allow for that moisture, that's liquid moisture or water, to be converted to snow in a major way and then kick those numbers in. The latest move with the overall maps indicating the low is going to dig in a little bit deeper, ever so slightly, more so into the inland areas. That little subtle move enhances the opportunity for snow, but under a shorter period of time. It's kind of wacky in that sense. Shorter period of time, but more density or stronger. So let me show you what we're talking about. Saturday at 11 o'clock, the models indicate it starts in Salisbury, works its way to the north. Then we go to Delmar by 12, and then by 2 o'clock, we're looking at heavy showers, snow showers everywhere by 4 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. And then we get even heavier amounts right about 6:30. This is when I think we're going to get the lion's share of our snow. But look how quickly it changes over by 10 o'clock. That wasn't with the last model run. I want to see if this holds true for tomorrow, but that's what's happening there. For the beaches, it goes like this. We're looking at 1:30, Dewey Beach, Bethany Beach, Fenwick Island, and then we see that heavy push right along Bethany Beach. And then the mixing comes along by 9:30 here at Bethany Beach, Selbyville, and Fenwick Island, and then it overtakes the entire area by 11 o'clock. The amount, now we're going to 7.3 in Selbyville, 8.5 in Seaford, and near 8 inches of snow likely for us. That's just Sunday. That doesn't include going into late Sunday, going into Monday. That being the case, we're going to continue to monitor and keep you updated. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. Obviously, we have a yellow alert day for a Monday because of the cold, but the big day is Sunday with that snow total ever so climbing a little bit higher and higher. It's a massive storm spanning from the south to the east coast, and people across the country are really preparing for big time problems, Christina.
Indeed, and as Brian Abel shows us, multiple states at this point already declaring states of emergency.
A potentially historic, worst in years winter storm could bring damaging heavy snow and ice to more than half of the United States this weekend.
The main actions to take now are to prepare your family, prepare your home, and prepare your car.
At least 182 million people in 45 states are under alert, with more expected as the storm's footprint will stretch more than 1,500 miles from Texas to the Northeast. Record-breaking cold with dangerous, expected wind chills as low as -50 in some spots, starting to creep into the upper Midwest and Northern Plains Thursday, with the system spreading across the eastern U.S. in the coming days. New York City may get hit with the most snow it's seen in 4 years. Some in the Great Lakes anticipating more treacherous conditions like the ones that created this 100-plus car pileup in West Michigan this week. In the South, road and airport concerns have crews working now.
We don't get a lot of opportunities to engage in a snow event, and so we're doing a lot of preparation.
And Texas officials confident the deep freeze won't wreak havoc on the power grid like what the state saw in 2021 when millions were in the dark.
The ERCOT grid has never been stronger, never been more prepared, and is fully capable of handling this winter storm.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
The Blood Bank of Delmarva says the storm could also impact blood supply. The organization says the weather conditions will likely cause canceled blood drives and closed donation sites, which could lead to less blood and donations between Sunday and Monday. To help, the Blood Bank of Delmarva says people should consider donating before the storm in order to increase the inventory. Coming up in sports tonight, the Eagles set to lose one of their top assistant coaches, and insult to injury, he's headed to the Dallas Cowboys. The Delmarva Sports Network has the details.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
Well, we've been telling you about growth on the coast. We know it's a big issue here, and we have these growing pains because, hey, everybody wants to live here. It does come at a cost, though. The roads, the infrastructure, development, and a loss of open space. All of that creating conflict and concern for people. Well, Coast TV News has investigated all of the deep-seated issues that brought us to where we are today. And on February 4th at 7 p.m., you can join us for a 1-hour special to help you understand the price of paradise, growth on the coast. Well, with the NFL playoffs underway and the thrilling conclusion of another season of college football, people all across the country are experiencing the highs and lows of being a sports fan. No matter how good your team is, experts warn that it is important to keep wins and losses in perspective. Lee Waldman has what you should do when those losses inevitably come.
From the thrill of victory,
it means the world to us. Champions.
To the agony of defeat.
I feel terrible. It was so close. So close. We should have won it.
Being a diehard sports fan can have a real impact on your mental health, both positive and negative.
It brought everybody together. We're just all excited to see what the Bears can bring to the city.
Happens every year, man. Bills lose it every single year.
Experts say that rooting for a sports team can help foster a community, reduce feelings of loneliness, and even boost self-esteem.
If you look at the videos about Indiana, you're hearing, we did it. We won the national championship. And because there's like that sense of identity that becomes connected to us. And it does. There's a chemical process going on.
On the flip side, when our teams lose, it can trigger a negative response.
There can be some anger. There can be some avoidance, withdrawal. It can hurt relationships in certain aspects.
Clinical psychologist Dr. Patrick McElwain says that it's important to keep wins and losses in perspective.
Try to look for certain ways that you can have hope for the future. Limit yourself on social media because that can, kind of increase the anger and increase the frustration and despair. Find something that's healthy, like a hobby.
Most importantly, fans should always remember,
always next year. It's always next year. It's always next year. Go Bills.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
In the NFC East, the Cowboys just poached an Eagle. Dallas is set to hire a Philly assistant as its new defensive coordinator. Don't worry, Birds fans. Vic Fangio, he's safe, but the same can't be said for his passing game coordinator, Christian Parker. Parker is going to take over as the new defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, who, well, with Dak Prescott and George Pickens this season, they were phenomenal on offense, but this team's Achilles heel in the first year of the Brian Schottenheimer era in Big D was their lack of a defense. They hired former Chicago Bears head coach Matt Eberflus after he got fired in the Windy City to try to fix that unit this season. It didn't work. He was one and done. So they stay in the division and they hire the Eagles assistant in Parker. and he was huge to Philadelphia's success over the last few seasons. Saw a clip on social media circulating about their Pro Bowl cornerback and safety Cooper DeJean in Philly, saying that I would not be the player that I am without Coach Parker and what he's done for me. And that Dallas defense could use a young leader like him. He's just 34 years old, but he has quickly risen up the coaching ranks. Who knows, if he stayed around in Philly a little longer, maybe he was in line to replace Vic Fangio as defensive coordinator down the line. But alas, that Philly defense that was anchored by its secondary over the last few seasons, losing Parker to Dallas, and we're going to see how big a move that ends up being. Have a great night, Delmarva.
Latest model run is bumping the numbers up a bit, up to about 10 inches possibly for a good portion of the Delmarva Peninsula, 12 or above up towards Newcastle, but then actually dialing it back just a little bit for Chincoteague up towards just south of Ocean City. We're still under the winter storm watch, so we're watching out for heavy snowfall as well as a mix. The cold front's already pushing through and affecting and impacting us. Milford right now, we're at 33 degrees at this present time, and we're going to stay in the low 30s under clear skies. Dan Fowler, our umbrella giveaway winner from Ocean City, congratulations. Be sure you keep up with your weather with our weather line. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Red alert day on Sunday, yellow alert day on Monday because of the cold.
All right, thanks for keeping us in the know, Paul, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. You can find more news, more weather, download that Coast TV News app, and The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We're back tomorrow at 5 a.m. Have a great night.